Hey, what's going on, everyone? I want to talk about a project that we've been working on called the Kaisetsu crew, aka Kai C. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. And pardon my voice, I'm kind of losing it right now. So what is Kai C? It's a network we're building on YouTube that's gonna do reviews, videos, and news in the same vein of like IGN, trying to add our personalities in with some fun videos. Kind of taking half influencer, half like journalistic route. So why are we doing this? Well, we want to build a community of anime fans like ourselves. I want to invite people to be stupid, have fun with us talking about anime, not just doing video essays alone in their basement, like every other anime YouTuber. We want to act as a hub where you can come to everything, all things anime. You go to the Kaisi channel, and we hope that doing this as a group will set ourselves from other anime YouTube channels and be able to be consistently putting out content that is equally as good, if not better, than those people. And yeah, that's what we're planning to do. So I'm gonna detail some shows that we have in the works, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. First things first, our reviews. We want to do reviews because I want to bring in a more mainstream audiences. Reviews are kind of dead in the anime community. I want to be able to bring in people who aren't really in the anime community, but they want to be involved, or they want to watch anime and they want to know what's good. I don't think anyone is really doing reviews, and I think no one wants to watch like a 40-minute video essay of why you should watch. The people that do have probably already seen the show. So I want to get the people who haven't seen the show and don't want to watch like 40 to 50-minute videos that are just super time consuming, and hopefully people will come for us for that. These reviews are going to be 5 to 10 minutes. Probably only going to talk about either popular shows or shows that we are interested in. Probably mostly the latter, because we're only going to review shows that we're watching. There's no point in reviewing shows that we're not watching, because that means we're not interested in them. So yeah, these reviews are going to have higher scores, but we're going to have a critic score and an enjoyment score. I think that's important to separate. We're going to do out of 10. Because, for example, like Clannad, I would give that critically an 8, but it's my favorite show ever, so I'm going to give it a 10 from an enjoyment standpoint, because I think there's a lot you can get out of it. I think doing it this way will be, one, interesting, and two, helpful for those people. It's like SAO got ragged on a bit, but from an enjoyment standpoint, I think a lot of people rank it higher than they would. And I just think that'd be an interesting way to do it and a good way to do it. And I really want to get those the mainstream audience involved. So the next show that I'm detailing is going to be the Weekly Weeb. The Weekly Weeb is a Kaisetsu crew anime news podcast. So basically every week, Friday is when we'll record and Saturday we'll post. We're going to be talking about the new anime news in the week. Focus on a couple topics, maybe 4 segments. Maybe a little less. We're gonna aim for 90 minutes, an hour to 90 minutes, around that range, and it should hopefully be a good time. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna detail news. We're not just gonna run down the news. It's gonna be a podcast. We're gonna have segments. We're gonna have a good time, but we're gonna be focusing on new anime news. The segments are gonna be based on the new anime news, and I hope people will enjoy the talks. I made like a little rough thumbnail for this one, and as you see, one of the headlines is Demon Slayer trends on Twitter. So that's just one of the few things that we could be talking about, just some really cool, fun stuff, talking about shows that are coming out, etc. We're gonna try to avoid spoilers. It's mostly about the news, things being released, things like that, and we'll have a good time hopefully. Andrew Laredo, will be the moderator for this podcast. The next thing is going to be a show, Is It Fresh? For those who know, this is a show that I wanted to put on my own YouTube channel and really give it a go. But I have everything ready, but I never really pulled the trigger on it. And I want to bring it back. I worked really hard on the first episode, and I think it can be a really fun, enjoyable thing that'll really put my personality out there and really put my have a lot of fun with it. Is It Fresh is going to be talking about anime characters and their outfits, and ranking whether they're fresh or not depending on what they're wearing, on a variety of different categories depending on what they are wearing. The first one is going to be Subaru's tracksuit, so I'm going to discuss the durability, the color coordination, the brand, things like that, because it's a tracksuit. They all are pretty standard, and a little bit of the history of the tracksuit and fun stuff like that. So should be a good time. I want to keep this video and other Is It Freshes between 10 to 20 minutes. Probably shooting for 15. And yeah, hopefully it's a good time. The next show is something that I'm really excited for called the Classics. This will be like our the Grammys or like the Hall of Fame. Basically, like we're inducting in an anime show that we collectively think is a classic. We're gonna dress up in like suits, in ties, like just super over the top, over dressy. We're gonna over dramatize it and have a lot of fun, and that's gonna be where the main fun of it is. And essentially, everyone will bring in a show that they're super passionate about, something they truly believe is a classic anime. We'll have a 5 to 6 minute presentation discussing what we love about it, what we like about it, what we think, why we think it deserves to be in the classics, etc., etc. You can do this via video or a real, like a PowerPoint presentation or like a spoken word presentation, or even off the top of your head if you're really that passionate about it, and it just comes off better when you talk about it freelance. But people like me who are ramblers know that you only have a select amount of time. After your time is off, you're done. We will cut you off. So yeah, and then after that, everyone that is participating will ask a question per thing. So they'll ask something along the lines of like why it should still be a classic even though it has these issues, or I like this aspect about it but this aspect isn't as good. Like, why do you think? Do you agree with me and believe that this aspect is okay, or do you disagree with me, etc., etc. Things like that. So a good example would be like if I were to bring Reborn for the classics, which I wouldn't. But if I were, the first 20 episodes are a drag. So a good question would be like, the first 20 episodes are really god awful, and most people agree that they're not very good. How can you put it into classics when it's almost a full season of nonsense? And then they would have to, obviously defend it. And yeah, everyone would be able to answer and ask one question and get an answer to one question per person. Responses have to be just the answer, nothing more, nothing less. So you can't just start talking about something else you want to talk about. We'll cap the responses at like 2 minutes so that people don't spend too much time responding, which will be a lot of fun, hopefully. Really excited about this. We're going to do it by whoever wins becomes the host. I'm going to be the first host, and I'm not going to participate due to that, because the reason being the host is so cool is because, first off, you can frame the show in any way you want, which will be a good time. And also, whoever's the host gets to know what everyone is bringing, because they have to know beforehand all of the shows that are going to be brought from every person. So when they get to ask questions, they're able to ask harder questions because they can do research, or they can just know what's coming. So they'll have more time to formulate their questions before the show even begins. So you'll get a little bit of an advantage for winning, which is cool, in a way that you can still clearly win. And at the end, we all vote, and we put in whatever show we think is the classics. I want to do a shorter version of this for openings, which will hopefully be a good time. And yeah, probably more for openings too. It'll probably be like 3-minute presentations, much shorter videos. Still dressing up and stuff, but there will be more of those per year. The classics, we're looking to think 1 or 2 times a year tops, which will hopefully be a lot of fun. The next show is going to be Beginner's Guide 2. This is kind of like a why you should watch type thing, but the idea is to focus on more basic stuff, like to get people interested in these kinds of things, rather than like talk about it like you already are in the anime community. It's more like a basic stuff kind of thing. So, for example, one that I was thinking about doing in the future is a Beginner's Guide to, once again, Reborn, because the first 20 episodes do suck. So these would be like, I would discuss the characters and what happens in the first 20 episodes and all this stuff and why you should watch it and blah, 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 and what makes it interesting and things like that. And so after I get through the first 20 episodes or so, then I'll say start at this point. It's a very long show, but continue on, things like that. So for shows that are longer, shonen, like, for example, One Piece, like where to avoid filler, things like that, just like fun, like, you really want to watch a show but it's daunting, here's a video on it. And another thing we'd be doing was for like genres of anime. So I was thinking about doing a sports one where I detail, like, because sports anime aren't really interesting I know for me, I didn't really want to watch sports anime because I was like, why would I watch sports anime? I already play sports. I would just go out and play said sport. Why would I watch someone else do it? It's also like what makes it different than just going on TV and watching like professionals. Obviously it's anime, so it's all exaggerated, but there are interesting things that you can get out of an anime that you can't get out of sports, because it's basically a sports story. So you can get out of that story that you want to be able to get out of a normal viewing of the sport or playing the sport. And also, hopefully, like people who aren't interested in sports, they can see the beginner's guide and then maybe be interested in sports anime now due to knowing that there are other aspects in sports anime that can be interesting aside from the actual sport itself, and perhaps not being interested in sports depending on like things they like competition, like tournaments and shonen anime and things like that. So yeah, just a couple of things. Those are just a couple brief examples, but that's the general idea. Anyone can do these beginner's guide too. Hopefully it'll be a good time. Next show is going to be Manga Cafe. Manga Cafe is going to be a show hosted by Ben. This show is going to be detailing things that are happening in manga, different things like that, in whatever format he wants it to. It's his show. So, it could be one week, it could be like top 10 manga that are coming out, top 5 manga to look out for, or it could be like these developments happen in this manga, let's talk about it. The last chapter of this manga came out that a lot of people are really passionate about, let's talk about it. Or it could be bringing on people and having them rank manga that they like or manga that have come out. Things like that. Just a bunch of different stuff. Different things revolved around manga. Maybe doing comparisons between an anime and a manga that is like popular. Just whatever he thinks is good for Manga Cafe. The next show is going to be One Night Cosplay. This is one I'm really excited about. This is Joel's show, as you can see. And he is going to be doing a cosplay where people are going to vote. So 3 to 5, he'll have 3 to 5 options because otherwise it won't be focused. And then people will vote and pick whatever cosplay they want him to do. And then he'll have to do it in 3 days. That gives him no time to do Amazon Prime. So he's got to find out weird budget solutions to be able to do all these things, and he'll record himself doing it. It should be a lot of fun. And yeah, it just should be a really good time to watch Joel fucking struggle and con crunch in the best way possible. Of course, he agreed to it and wanted to do the show, so it wasn't like, it's not like I'm trying to force it on him or anything like that. But yeah, so it should be a good time. Really looking forward to it. The next show is The Butter Quest. It's a working title. It's basically just Andre's show where he's doing random stuff because he's not around us at the moment. He's in North Carolina. So most of the time it's going to be just whatever he feels like doing, and he'll upload that to the channel. And just whenever, whatever. Excited to see different skits he comes up with. They're going to be game and anime related most likely. Maybe one day it'll be like a vlog, or maybe the next week, it's a skit. The next week he's just playing a game by himself and just uploads it. Whatever he wants. It's just the Andre show. You come to see Andre. It should be a good time, and we obviously don't know what to expect. It'll be fun for us too. The next show is going to be Fantasy Anime Draft. This is an idea I got from playing a lot of fantasy football. I wanted to do bets in some way because I just think they're a really fun time. And I've been watching a lot of Easy Allies, and they do bets all the time, and it just looks like so much fun. So I want to do a fantasy anime draft where at the beginning of every season, me and 2 other people, maybe not even me sometimes, but a total of 3 or 4 people get together and they draw straws and they figure out what anime they are going to be picking in a draft. So how it would work is it would be 4 to 5 shows per person, depending on how many people are there. Everyone gets a show. They'll go down the list. They'll pick their shows. Depending on, whoever drew the shortest straw, longest straw, whatever. And yeah, we're going to be drafting shows. So whatever it's going to be whatever ones we think are going to be highest rate on my anime list. So it'll make it a little interesting because we can't just pick popular shows because they could end up not being as good. For example, this season, I would have thought that Dr. Stone was better quality. It was going to be way better quality than Fire Force, but Fire Force has been blowing me away, and I won't be surprised if when the MAL scores come out, Fire Force will be higher than Dr. Stone, just because of how incredible it's been animation-wise and the opening, everything, the aesthetic, the world building. It's just been better than the anime, at least. Maybe not the manga, but the anime for sure. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Should be interesting. And at the end of every season, we're gonna count up the votes. Whatever's got the highest My Anime List rating will get a score. They'll get whatever, how many shows were picked. So if there's 5 shows, 3 people, 15 points would be number 1. Number 2 would be 14, all the way down to 1, whatever the lowest show that was picked was. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for it. We'll count up all the points. Whoever has the most points at the end wins. And whatever they'll either win a cup or they'll win like some sort of privilege. We'll figure it out, but it'll be a good time. Next show is one of the last shows. It's called Hidden Gems. I haven't really figured out where to put that, especially in phase 1. But it's basically going to be a show detailing shows that we want to gush about that maybe not a lot of people have watched. For example, I know Joel loves Shinzo or whatever, and we were all like, we're not watching it. And this would be a chance for him to talk about, a show that he really loves and just gush about Shinzo and how good it is and what he loves about it, etc., etc. And we'll call it Hidden Gems, and it'll be a show. I want it to be for everyone, but very well could be just like one person talking about it, and that's their show. But we'll see. For right now, it's going to be an everyone thing. But yeah. And lastly, streams. We want to do random streams because whatever, F it. I'm really stream illiterate, so hopefully I can get help from Richard or other people that have done it before or know how it's done at least, because I'm really stupid when it comes to streams. Like, I don't understand them. I don't know why. I'm just a big dummy. But yeah, Game Awards, E3, like, we definitely want to do reaction streams to those because it'll just be a lot of fun. Like, it'll just be fun. And it'll be cool to have our reactions, whether people watch them or not. Also, like, we're playing games one weekend. We're just like, why don't we just stream ourselves? Obviously, we want to keep cursing to a limited, but just have a good time streaming ourselves and being ourselves and being around us. And that'll hopefully help this idea of, like, building a community because people want to see us play games. People want to see us react to things. People want to see us be us, and hopefully it'll be a really cool and fun time. And that pretty much does it for shows. Right here I'm showing you the phase 1 is, like I said, this is what we're calling the first part of this, the timeline, basically, where things that we're going to have airing, things that we have an idea for already. So, I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can look at it. And we're looking to launch September 28th, the day Demon Slayer airs, the last episode. I've been working on a review for it. I want to put out a review the day after it airs so we can catch that audience. And for any other show, we want to normally put it out, a review out the day after the show ends, especially a popular one. Yeah, like Fire Force and Dr. Stone, their seasons won't be ending for a while. But when they do, we want to put it out like immediately. And we're going to be going back into the backlog and trying to get some other reviews. Joel's working on a Haikyuu Season 1 review, and eventually Season 2 and Season 3. Here's the next thing of our timeline. So yeah, should be a lot of fun. We're looking to, around December when it's about finals week, after December 7th, we'll be announcing a break due to finals. And if we met our goals, maybe we'll start a Patreon. We'll see, to be decided. So shows without time slots. Here's a couple shows that we're not really sure about. Just kind of the same stuff I talked about with the timeline. We just don't really know where they fit in. If they'll be in this part or if they'll be shows we'll just put out for the future. So yeah. And here are our goals just for phase 1. The first part of this, our goals are to gather a decent following. We hope to get at least 10,000 to 25,000 subscribers. That would be really amazing. And at least a video or two with 100,000 to 200,000 viewers. That alone would be absolutely incredible. And a personal goal for me would have at least 5,000 people watch the podcast because they're very long and we don't really have anyone following us. Just getting any of that, getting a decent following in the first place would be really, really cool. Show the fruits of our labor. It'd be really awesome. Not going to be something that happens right out the bat, and it might not even happen. We might not even get to there. We're only focusing on a 3 to 4 short months. But if possible, man, at least 10,000, like, that's awesome. Like, we make really good strides. Kind of piggyback off that would be getting a sponsorship. Not many sponsorships, a single sponsorship. Even if it's like Raid, Shadow Legends, where they go to everyone and we end up turning it down. Just being asked for one would mean that we're being noticed, and that's really amazing. And the last goal is to begin breaking the stigma. As a group of friends with all different backgrounds, we want our personalities and friendship, like, to help bring in more mainstream viewers and tap into the idea that anime can be, like, cool, you know what I mean? So if big enough, we want to invite people onto our show who are large personalities and figures that enjoy anime but are not just passionate about anime. Of course, that's way, way, way in the future. I just happen to talk about it here. But like Michael B. Jordan, Sam Jackson, they're all anime fans, but they're actors. That's just a pipe dream, but a dream no less, and that would be way in the future. Our goals on a broader scope, we want to be invited to cons. We want to do interviews with famous industry figures. We want to be invited to Crunchyroll events and other cons. We want to report on red carpets for like the Dragon Ball movies and other things like that. These are just like goals we have in the very far future. And eventually we want to build our own streaming service or studio where we can produce our stories or make manga of our own and perhaps produce it and put it somewhere, we think that'd be really, really cool. And by building our studio or building a streaming service, I think it would help in the sense of like making anime mainstream here in America. And, if we work really hard and we do end up somehow getting our own studio or streaming service, kind of like Rooster Teeth did, we think it could be really, really awesome to just be a part of that, I mean, the other day, Rooster Teeth got announced to be on Toonami. Like, that's insane. Like, it's already starting to become mainstream, but I really would like to be a part of that. So, this is a passion project. We're still in school. We have our lives ahead of us. I don't expect people to be all in. In fact, I'm not even all in. I want to work on this stuff along with another project in my free time. But if this doesn't work out over the next semester or so, it is what it is. But if it does, I may very well be all in. But for now, I'm not. I'm looking for jobs, hope to work on stuff in my free time, and I expect everyone else to do. I want to focus on good content that's different, but be digestible and doable. I think by having everyone as a group, as I was saying earlier, on one channel, just having many people work on many different things, we'll have a consistent stream of content that is hopefully really good. And with everyone working on a review or a show, it allows us to divide and conquer and be consistent, which is very important on like YouTube and as a brand. So the more, the merrier. Right now the people involved are Ben, Joel, Dennis, Andre, Luke, and myself. And Luke is obviously out of commission right now, so he's just been like not doing anything. We want to extend the invite though. I really want to be a part of this with everyone, but there is a caveat because this is a side project, but it is a passion project nonetheless. We will have schedules, we will have meetings, we will have deadlines. I expect all of those things to be met. If you're willing to put in their effort and really, really try for that kind of stuff, obviously we're in school, so I can be lenient. And you're really interested in this kind of stuff, then please let me know. I really would like to have any one of you guys a part of that. If you're worried about editing, Dennis and myself are willing to help in our free time. And I'm sure if you asked Luke if he has free time, he'd be willing to as well. And of course, if you're not willing to commit, but you do want to be involved, like don't worry about that kind of stuff. We have podcasts and shows that involve people, and we'll definitely invite you guys on to discuss certain topics that we want your opinion on, because I truly value some of your opinions. I think the more people that involved would be awesome just because of how different our personalities are. But, I understand that like not everyone wants to just jump on board with this, and I completely get it. But if you do, it'd be really cool. And that pretty much sums it up for my presentation. I hope that, I got a couple of you guys interested. I hope that you guys watched all the way through. I'm really looking forward to this project. I'm going to be working on a hell of a lot of other stuff. Probably going to drive myself crazy. But I'm still excited for the future. And I think I really do want to get this going and really do something great. I think it'd be really fun. So that's pretty much it. This has been Andrew from Kaisetsu. Deuces, homies.